the dry beans. They're one of those things that the soil temperature for optimum germination is 21 to 32 degrees Celsius, whereas the optimal growing temperature would be an air temperature of 18 to 21 degrees Celsius. There's a few plants like that. But I'm assuming anyway, because of our cold start to spring, that is why the black turtle beans, a lot of them didn't germinate and they probably just rotted in the ground. Now they have 85 to 90 days or something to maturity from direct sow. So from seed to harvest, 85 to 90 days. However, if I just put them out there in the soil, they're going to take a longer time to germinate just because the soil is still cold, or we're getting warm temperature now, finally. But there's no extra warm temperature in forecast. Great growing temperature for them, but no extra. So for both the Jacob's cattle and the black turtle, I'm going to set these out. Here in the sunroom, I'll get nice warm temperature. Most of this is weeds, but this one is the Detroit dark red ones that I had planted out. I was thinking about trying that transplant thing that Charles Dowding does, but I decided against it. I had lots of normal beets growing out there. I didn't get any of the sugar beets to grow, so the sugar beet seed that I had was probably bad. Some of these red beets now, they had quite the root system on. But that's okay, I don't think I need them. Finish filling it up with some of this compost here. And put one seed in each one. Now I only need one tray for Jacob's cattle. And we'll water them all in. Now I have to check something. Now I've got the labels all made for them and placed in there. Cabbage. 50 days for early Jersey Wakefield and 65 to 70 days for early Copenhagen market. And as I often say, I would like to get cabbage to grow because I want to try making sauerkraut, and I believe the other name is kimchi. For these cells, the seeds are small, of course, and you get a lot of them in a packet. I'm going to put 3 or 4 in each cell, and then I'll cut out all but the strongest one when they come up. Now that was early Jersey Wakefield, so I've got to switch these labels around. And this will be early Copenhagen market. Now one of the ideas I got is, I think my biggest problem is I don't have the proper soil made up for cabbage. And if I plant some of these in, so you know where I just made those, cleared out the compost area, and I've got the 2 round compost bins put back, and I have some squash planted around them. In with those squash, I want to try this year, once these come up and they're up a little bit, to plant them there and see if they'll grow very well. Because like I'm saying, I think the issue is you need to have really good soil. I mean, on a farm, they will just douse the thing with fertilizer, but I ain't going to do that. These are fair-sized cells here that I'm starting them in, and so I'll be able to get, in a month's time, I'll have a fair-sized plant that I can plant both in there, and we'll take up the garlic by then, and where the garlic is, we'll plant the rest of them and see what happens. And if I get a lot, I'll make a whole bunch of sauerkraut and kimchi, and if not, oh well. It's a learning experience, eh? Now, soak it down. Like so, put this in the compost, and yeah, that'll be it for right here today. Yes, the end of week 1, the first full week of July, and the garden is all weeded. And the paths are trimmed down. I'll show you. You see, these are the chieftains, and they're starting to come up. But once we get over to the russet burbanks, you can see that pretty much every one of them are up, and up pretty good. So the russet burbanks are the ones that actually grew the best. And when we get back here to Gold Rush, then there are several of them up, but they're still quite small. Now, so we'll jump across this bed. this female flower here, I pollinated that one, hand pollinated it yesterday. Oops. So I hand pollinated that one yesterday. So it should grow pretty well. Now back to the idea of resowing. So we've got here, and we can see, yes, that there are crimson lentils growing there, but there are some spaces. So I'm going to reset the spaces here. There's not all that many spaces though. Black beluga lentils, there's more spaces where there are no lentil plants growing. Now this was, of course, as you can see previously, red potatoes growing here, and there are several potato plants growing up, and these are apparently going to flower and go to seed, these carrots. I don't remember ever planting carrots here, but that's what's here, a bunch of carrots. So how they got here, your guess is as good as mine. Coming back to the Jacob's cattle, most of them are up, but down this end there's a space. We've got to put in a few of the ones that I just planted in the sunroom. If you look a little closer at these, oops, I missed a weed. Get that one out of there. Anyway, there is a few spaces here, and the black turtle beans don't seem to be growing as well as the tiger's eye and Jacob's cattle. Hopefully they do well, but the ones that I planted, I'll fill in the empty spaces that is here. And then when you go over here, I don't have this bed actually weeded out again. The weeds are popping up like crazy now, but they're just starting. Red-rooted amaranth are there, and there's the occasional lamb's quarter. But as far as the sugar beets go, I reseeded this with sugar beet seed, and there's not a whole lot growing. So when the other black turtle beans start, then I'll get this bed weeded out, and where there's nothing growing, then I'll plant the black turtle beans here. Now there are quite a few beets growing, but there are places where there's not very many. Like right here in the center of the bed, there seems to be very little growing. And then we get down this end, and where the beets are up high enough, let me zoom you out a bit, up high enough, I have mulch in between the rows. And I got my beet seed out, and I'm going to inspect this bed closely and reseed wherever there's spaces. Now reseed that with different varieties of beets. This bed looks quite weedy, but in reality it's not. We got some bolting arugula, I think it is, but that's quite alright. We'll let that bolt, and we'll probably collect some seed. If the seed falls and it grows next year, it's just perfectly fine. Apparently there was some German chamomile. See the taller ones? So all the German chamomile, they're flowering now, and the Roman chamomile is just starting to flower. Got the name of it, forgot now. I'm always forgetting names. Anyway, that one's about ready to flower. This is mostly, there's not many plants in here that I don't want here. It's mostly chamomile. The arugula is there. And we have the occasional California poppy. And the other thing I'm going to do, I have some sugar snap peas in soaking. So in about an hour's time I'm going to plant them all along this fence. Well, I have 100 seeds in, and this is 40 feet, so it's not going to go the entire length, but as far as what I got, I'm going to plant along. So I'm going to give you this in real life. This looks like a beautiful field of wildflowers. I'll see what it turns out like on the video. So many toads in this ground. I think I have sand wasp. It's a black and white wasp. It looks like the paper wasp, but it's black and white. This is the first year I've seen them. Roses are blooming. And petals are even starting to fall. So our very next thing, we get to weed out this herb area here, and I'll be able to get at, well, cut back the stuff that's grown big so that I can preserve and dehydrate the thyme and savory and stuff. In right there, there's onion chives, which has been hard to get at. I've used some of them, but they're very difficult to get at because of all the grass and stuff growing up among them. And so this next week now, it's Saturday now, we'll get the, and I think I'll just video actually the process of weeding this out. And this bed, rhubarb, as you know, I reset this and I thought, oh, it's excellent, now we got a good bed of rhubarb, but as you can see, the creeping buttercup, it's grew like mad, and so we're going to have to get at this and sit down and slowly go through and get those roots out of there. So this is going to be another video clip showing how we go about cleaning that out and getting the rhubarb back out in sight again. So that's our next two tasks.